Welcome back, everyone, to the College Tennis Diaries. My name is Naomi Karki, and I'm your host for today. Just for a little bit of background for myself, I'm a 15-year-old rising sophomore in high school. I'm a student athlete myself, and I'm aspiring to play college tennis. For today's episode, we will be talking to one of the top American college tennis players, Natasha Subhash. So everyone give her some love. So just for some, if you didn't already know about Natasha, she's a rising sophomore at the University of Virginia and played the number one singles position in her freshman season. She was also named the ITA National Rookie of the Year for the 2019 to 2020 season. That's a great accomplishment. She's also the named to the ACC Academic Honor Roll as a freshman. And in terms of her junior career, as a 13-year-old, she received a wild card to the qualifiers of the Junior US Open, and she went on to win 3 matches to reach the second round of the main draw. She's competed at all 4 junior Grand Slams, including 5 times at the US Open. She also cracked the top 400 of the WTA in 2019. She's also reached a career high of number 27 in the ITF Juniors ranking. And in terms of recruitment, she was a blue chip recruit in the class of 2019, ranked number 5 in the nation. So that's a really impressive resume, Natasha. I'm so excited to talk with you in this episode. So why don't we start back at the beginning? So I know you grew up in Virginia. So why don't you go through a little bit of, where you grew up, how you got into sports, and specifically tennis?
Yeah, so I was born in DC, and then my parents and I moved to Virginia, like, right after, and then I moved to my current home when I was 3, and I've been here in Fairfax ever since. And then right around when I was like 3.5, my dad just started like throwing me some balls in our basement to just for me to just hit them and have fun. So I did that, and he saw that I had good hand-eye coordination. So then, or he put me in this Tiny Tots program that we had at our club, where I still train, 4-star. And it was so close to our house, so it was great. And I've been there since I was 4. So, yeah.
That's really great. So you I guess you started just with tennis. You haven't tried any other sports since tennis?
No, I've only played tennis.
That's great. So in terms of your education, I know you switched to homeschooling at one point in your junior career. So, but before that, what school did you go to in Virginia?
So I was just in our public schools. So I went to Fair Hill, and
Sorry,
then
kind of cutting off a little bit.
okay.
I think you cut off. Can you just repeat the last part?
I was just at our public schools. So I went to regular public school till freshman year, and then I did online, but I did that through our county still. So I was still part of the public school. They just had their own online program.
Oh, that's really cool. I know a lot of people, when they switch to online schooling, they use a different system. They have so that's cool that your district had that separate option.
Yeah.
So how did you, sorry.
I was just saying that it's totally free. So it was just, it was very convenient to have that.
So how did you balance that, I guess, both in your online schooling and before you switched to online, in terms of tennis and education? How did you find that balance between the two?
I mean, it was definitely tough when I was in regular school, especially in middle school, I had to miss a lot of school for tournaments because I was playing tournaments that had um, that had matches like during the school week instead of
Mhm.
just on the weekends. So I had to take like a week off at a time.
Mhm.
So that was tough. But I had great teachers who were understanding about everything and would give me my
Mhm.
homework and stuff. And so like it was tough, but it was manageable.
Mhm. So, when you started your tennis a little more seriously, I guess before you switched to online schooling, so did you try out like balancing like the public schooling and playing more tennis tournaments and traveling, and then after some time decide to switch to online schooling, or like how did you make that choice?
I mean, so I started playing tournaments when I was 6, so like
Mhm.
I was in first grade, but I started playing like nationals and like just a lot of tournaments, probably like around 9.
Mhm.
Um, so I think like from then I was always playing like a lot of tournaments, but it wasn't like say in terms of school till I was probably like around 12. So like
Mhm.
7th grade
Mhm.
because that's when I started to play like the nationals and like the ITFs when I was around like 13. Um,
Mhm.
and then so once that started, it was tougher because I would miss like the entire school week,
Yeah.
which is not great. But I was able to like get my homework and stuff, so I would
Mhm.
work on that like while I was away, and then turn it in when I came back. But
Mhm.
then once high school started, um, we just like thought that in high school it would be even tougher, and the teachers might not be as nice about it.
Mhm.
So I think we decided like pretty quickly, probably in like August, like right before school started, that I should probably um, switch to online so I could keep playing my like ITF
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I think that was a good choice because like I just finished my freshman year, which like isn't as bad. But then there were some times where I just had to miss like a day of school, like a day or two, and then there's teachers that are like, like why do you keep missing school and stuff like, and I'm like,
In 8th grade, I think my total amount of missed school days was like 75 or like ridiculous. I was like, that's like a third of the school.
yeah,
So I was over there.
yeah, I think that was definitely a good choice for you. Like,
Yeah.
and you also mentioned your first tournament. Yeah, you played your first tournament when you were 6 years old. Do you remember anything about that or have any specific memories?
I don't have specific, but like I remember like the site and like vague stuff. So my dad told me I played two age groups. I I played the tens and the eights, um,
Mm-hmm.
and I won the eight and under, and then I lost in the tens. I don't know, second round or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it was in DC maybe, but yeah, I was very young, so I don't have memories.
That's really cool though. I think those first few tournaments they also like shape, how you treat the sport in general, like in your future too.
Hmm.
And you mentioned you enrolled at the Four Star Academy because it was very nearby
Yeah.
for you and it was convenient. Um, so, how long was it before, like, when you started at the academy and then when you started playing more competitively, so like in tournaments, and then like, how did you treat the sport at that point?
Well, so I started doing the classes like the tiny tot. So it was basically just like having fun
Mm-hmm.
when I was 4. and I started taking like lessons from my first coach, Hannah Pass, which is Bob's
Mm-hmm.
daughter. And yeah, so I was with her, I think, till like 5 or 6, and then I started playing tournaments. And then I think I like switched classes to like a more advanced class, and I started taking it like seriously, but not like
Mm-hmm.
too seriously until probably I was around like 8, maybe. I started playing nationals then,
Mm-hmm.
so I I think from then it got like serious.
Mm-hmm. So you also mentioned your coaches. You started with Bob Pass's daughter, um, and I know that he's been like an influential part of your journey. So could you talk more to us about your coaches, not only Bob Pass but also Bear Schofield,
Hmm.
and how they've helped you out?
Um, I mean, everyone at Four Star is like my family now. I mean, they've been so great with my tennis and just like life in general. But so yeah, I was with Hannah till I was probably 5 or 6. I'm not sure. And then I switched to Raul. He's another coach there. And then I started working with Bear when I was 10. And I've been with him since then. So he's still my private coach. And Bob has just been like incredible. I mean, he's not my private coach, but he's like just always there to like support me. Um, so he's been a huge part of my like tennis and just life in general for
Mm-hmm.
a very long time.
I think it's great that you had that good relationship with your coach from a young age, because then I guess they really understand not only your tennis game but your personality and I get how to coach you, just like that relationship. Um,
Yeah.
mhm. So now let's transition more into your junior career. So you made your debut at the U.S. Open qualifying at 13 years old. You won 3 matches then to make it to the second round of the main draw. Are there any memories that you want to share from your first Grand Slam test?
Yeah, so that tournament was obviously very special because it was my first slam and it was
Mm-hmm.
so fun. It was crazy, but so I won my first qualifying round, and then in my second round, um, during the match, I think I was down like 2-4 in the first set when I fell and hurt my knee really badly.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I hyperextended it while like I think it was like a backhand or something,
Mm-hmm.
but it hurt so bad, so I had to get it taped. It was like 2 pounds of tape.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I kept playing, and I was down in the match. I lost that set, and then I was down 5-2 in the second, and then I came back somehow,
Wow.
won won the match, and qualified. And then I think sometime in between there and my first round main draw, I went to the hospital to get like the like scans and stuff. And I'm not sure exactly what the injury was. It wasn't that serious. I think it was like a bone bruise or
Mm-hmm.
something, but I had to wear loads of tape and very uncomfortable. But I won my first round in 3 sets again, I think, and then I lost. But it was a great tournament. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, for your first Grand Slam especially, that's a crazy one.
Yeah, that was definitely my best comeback, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing. I definitely agree. Um, you also competed at the Australian Open as well in doubles with there was one run where you made the semifinals with Katie McNally, and you lost a close match to a team featuring Bianca Andreescu, who's
Yeah.
the reigning U.S. Open champion. So for you, how does it feel, knowing that these people that you competed with and against, like, they're doing so well now on the pro tour? How does that inspire you, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, it does. Like, it's crazy to think that I played against Bianca, and that match was so close. And I mean, we lost 10-8 in the third set tiebreak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's actually
Oh,
crazy. At 8-all, my partner Katie, she had a volley on top of the net, and
oh,
no, she made it, but then
yeah.
the ball
Oh, okay.
flying from somewhere and
Oh,
came onto the court, and they called a let right as she was making with the ball. So we did the point, and I think Carson uh, hit an ace.
mm-hmm.
So then we lost. But it's so crazy how things like that can happen. But
Yeah.
we were so close, and it was a great experience being in the semis.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it's Bianca is doing so well now. So it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy to think that we were just like so close to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's unlucky. Like
Yeah,
that happens. Knowing that it happened to you and that happens to me and like to so many people I know at tournaments,
yeah.
even at sectional tournaments as well. But I mean,
But
it's great with the experience in general. Like you were so close
yeah,
that, but just knowing that you can compete with those players and how she's doing so well, I'm sure that really is like helping, inspiring you.
yeah. And the like funny part of it is like we were playing on one of those like standalone um,
Mm-hmm.
courts, so like there wasn't even a court next to it. The ball just came from somewhere. We still don't even know where it came from, but it was
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I mean, I guess it happens
Yeah.
sometimes. So now transitioning more into your ITFs, you had a close match with Whitney Osigwe in the finals of the Pan American ITF, and she's also now close to the top 100 on the WTA tour. What do you remember from that match, and like how was that experience in that tournament and the finals as well?
Um, that match, I remember it being super close and competitive. Um, I mean, she's obviously a great player, um, and I think that was like my one of my first like big finals and stuff. So I think I won a few really great matches to get to that finals, and I remember that tournament just being great. So I mean, she's obviously playing great too. So yeah.
That's good to know. And also, going back to some more doubles, you reached the doubles finals of the Eddie Hare and the Orange Bowl as well, and represented the U.S. at the Junior Fed Cup. In general, what do you consider as the highlights of your junior career, and any special memories in general, and why do you consider those your highlights, I guess?
Some of my highlights are definitely the slams, like just playing all of them. Those are just magical experiences. Um, those, and then I won grade A doubles with
Mm-hmm.
Katie in Mexico. That was
Mm-hmm.
a great experience. And then probably my two pro titles, the 15Ks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those were super special as well. Yeah, and then just a bunch of like smaller things. Like I won a
Mm-hmm.
grade two in Canada, both singles and doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just things like that. Yeah.
In addition to your 215Ks, which you mentioned, you also reached the semis and the finals in a 25Ks,
Yeah.
and that was within a very like a short time span. So you're doing pretty well. Those tournaments like that, what kind of confidence does that give you in terms of the pro tour? Like, does that help you believe that you belong in that tour and that you could compete at that higher level?
Yeah, I mean, so that was all like within one summer, and
Yeah.
yeah, that definitely gave me a lot of confidence, and I like I wasn't like surprised, but I was definitely like just really happy about that because
Mm-hmm.
I, I'd always wondered if like pro like if I was like there yet, and
Mm-hmm.
that that really helped me like get confident, and I think I took that with me when I started playing college. So I think all of that just helped my confidence and everything.
Mm-hmm. Um, so now let's go more into your college tennis portion. Of course, you did very well in the pro tour in your junior career. So then, what did you consider when deciding to go through the college tennis path versus going to the pro tour earlier? And what were the some of the factors in your mind when you were making this decision?
Yeah, so I never like considered turning pro straight away,
Mm-hmm.
as I knew I wanted that like college, just like being able to study in college. And we have a system here where I could just play for like 1 or 2 years and then turn pro,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back and study if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that, and I definitely wanted to take advantage of that. And so yeah, I knew I wanted to play in college. So at the start of my junior year, I got recruited by coaches, and yeah, the whole process started.
That's cool. I didn't know they had that option.
Yeah.
Is that just at Virginia, or is that at like other colleges? Sorry,
No,
I couldn't hear it. Oh,
it's in all schools.
oh, okay,
Some
okay.
schools have like a certain amount of time that you have to stay, and
Mm-hmm.
some don't, but it just depends on the school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I know you obviously you were from Virginia and you chose to play at the University of Virginia. The school's also one of the top women's college tennis programs in the country, with many notable alumni, including Danielle Collins, and Indian tennis players as well, like Somdev Devarman and Sanam Singh. So like did you consider any of these successful alumni when you were choosing this path, or how do they influence you in terms of that decision?
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, I had looked up to Someday for a while now. My parents like followed him, and yeah, and I think I met that I'm staying on my visit or somewhere, and he was very nice. So that helped a lot. And then hearing about Danielle Collins and all of her success was great. But I mean, I don't think I chose the school just because of that. My main factor is I definitely wanted to stay like on the closer side to home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like not too close, but not like California or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere super far. But and then I absolutely loved the coaching staff, and
Mm-hmm.
they were definitely the like main factor
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah, the coaches, yeah, for college tennis, a coach is like probably one of the most important things,
yeah.
because they help you so much on your journey for 4 years. That's good that you had all these things in your mind when you were choosing choosing your college. Um, more into college tennis. So far, what do you think has been your favorite part of the college tennis? And also, in terms of the team atmosphere, how have you handled that? I know it's like very different competing like going to individual tournaments, and then when you go to college tennis, you have like a whole team like supporting you and backing you up. So yeah, just those two things.
Yeah, college tennis is definitely just incredible. I mean, juniors is very lonely. Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean, tennis is obviously an individual sport, so like
Mm-hmm.
you can't expect to have like a team. But I mean, you're always playing for yourself. You're just with yourself and like your partner and your coach, and like there's once you play your match, you're done, and you
Mm-hmm.
kind of just like leave. But in college, like you're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for your team, for your school. It's the most amazing atmosphere, like with your whole team and the crowd just cheering you on and screaming and then when you're done and you can go over to your teammates court and scream. um, it's so much fun, and it's something that I think all tennis players should have the chance to experience. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm also excited for college tennis because, I mean, at least for juniors, I guess the closest thing they've had to that is they have like that
There's
the
that.
zonals competition. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not like exactly the same because like in college tennis, you spend so much more time with your team and the coaches, and you get to bond. Whereas zonals is like you meet your coaches and your team, and then like to play with them for like maybe 5 days, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
college is
but
basically like that, but on steroids. Like your team is your family, and
mhm,
like you spend so much time with them, and you
mhm.
bond so quickly, and it's just like yeah, it's just they're always there with yeah, it's great.
um, so in terms of your academics, so what major are you pursuing at UVA?
So I'm gonna be applying to the business school.
Hmm.
So I'll apply this coming
Hmm.
winter, and then I'll find out next March.
Mm.
If I get in, that would start my third year at UVA.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that. I wasn't sure about that. So I'm assuming that okay. So the D1 school, like I know a lot of people talk about this, so I have to ask you about this. Um, a lot of people say that the managing the academics as well as the sports for D1 schools especially is like hard because I'm also for UVA because it's one of the top women's programs and playing a lot of matches and stuff. So I'm assuming it's hard. It's tricky to balance the academics and the athletics. So for you personally, how have you been able to balance it? And do you have any tips or advice that you would give to other college tennis players, whether it's D1 or any other group?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely tough. It took me a while to get adjusted to like the schedule
Mm-hmm.
because I mean you're always doing something. Um, it's not like high school at all. It's very busy, but in the fall, my first few months, it was tough because I had classes pretty much all morning, and then we had a practice in the afternoon, and
Mm-hmm.
then I always had like tutoring or like we have something called like mentoring, so I always had something at night too.
Mm-hmm.
So it was tough to find the time for like homework and just relaxing. But I mean, you definitely have to find a schedule that works. I got that in, in, in the spring, I was able to have my classes at a better time, and
Mhm.
then I had practices at different times, so I had a lot like bigger chunks in the day for like schoolwork and stuff.
Mhm.
But it's tough, and I, I would say to just take advantage of like all the resources that we have because we have lots of tutors for um, athletes and just a lot of um, help. So just take advantage of all
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I think that's a lot of good advice you gave there. Especially for me, that's one thing that I always think about because, of course, you like, or I guess most people want to play at that high college tennis level, but also challenge themselves in academics as well. And I know I've talked to so many people about that, and like, you know, everyone seems to be saying something similar along the lines of like managing your time, using what you have, like you mentioned with the tutoring as well. So, more about the college itself. For you, what is your favorite part about the campus life and at the University of Virginia?
My favorite part is just all of the people there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the community at UVA is just incredible and so like just friendly. I mean, I've met so many incredible friends there, and
Mm-hmm.
my team is just like my family now. So just the people and my coaches and everything, and obviously like playing matches and stuff at home. It's obviously a great
Mm-hmm.
experience too.
Is there anything like, I mean, I don't know what they have at UVA, but is there any like place you like to go with your friends or like, I don't know, place you like to study or anything like that about the campus?
I like to study at the libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a few of us on the team would like have like study like sessions stuff like especially in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for like food and stuff, our team loves to eat, so we love. So there's this place called Roots. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a bowl place.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, it's not anything special, but it's so good. Um, so we love that place, and then I mean, we just love like traveling. We'll find great places to eat.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about the food on our team. Yeah,
That sounds really cool. Yeah, I love food too.
me too.
um, more about after your college tennis as well as outside of your college tennis. So I know that outside of tennis, you've been helping special needs kids under the club's Keen program. So, what inspired you to take this initiative and help kids this way?
So we had that program years ago at our old club,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a great program. We so I think it was like once a month.
Mm-hmm.
These people would come in and we would like play with them and just like feed them balls and just talk to them. And I mean, it was a great experience because they were all just having so much fun,
Mm-hmm.
and was really great to like see that we could put a smile on their
Mm-hmm.
face and just like help them have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Unfortunately, I don't think we have that program anymore
Mm-hmm.
um, because we had to switch places. We're now in like a sport and health club, and so it's not our own space anymore. But yeah, that was great. It was super fun.
Mm-hmm. Um, so also wanted to talk a little bit more about your like after college tennis. In 2019, obviously you made the top 100 of the WTA. So in terms of pro tennis or tennis after college, do you have any plans to pursue pro tennis, or if not pro tennis, what are your plans for the sport?
Yeah, I definitely want to try my hand at pro tennis. I mean, yeah, I don't really have any like set plans because
Mm-hmm.
everything can change so fast, as we can see already. But um, yeah, pro is definitely like something that I want to pursue in the future.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I'm sure everyone's excited to hear that.
Yeah.
So, uh, in terms of Indian tennis, is there anyone that you look up to? Could be an Indian tennis player or just an Indian athlete in general. Um, yeah.
Um, I have definitely been following Sonia
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, just because like she's probably the most famous woman
Mm-hmm.
on the pro tour. But yeah, I just think it's incredible what she's been able to accomplish, and yeah,
That's yeah, that's great. I've also, you know, her being like one of the most successful Indian tennis players, been following her and paying attention to what she's done on the pro tour, in doubles as well. She's done super well in doubles too, of course.
yeah,
And for you personally, have you been to India, or like, what is your favorite part about going there?
yeah. I've been to India. I think only twice.
Mm-hmm.
The last time was in 2000, I think so, 10 years ago. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't remember much about it, but my entire family is there. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's probably the best part about it is just being able to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I, I can't tell you about like specific places to visit because I was young, but
Mm-hmm.
just like seeing them and stuff is great.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any
Yeah.
plans to go again in the near future, or I guess after
Yeah,
COVID?
we definitely did. Like my parents want me to go again, but like now we're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll just see if we can soon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I have like a list of some questions that people have been submitting through the comments.
Okay.
Um, just looking through them, some college things, and there's some related to the pro tour as well. Um, so what aspect of tennis interested or attracted you the most? Um, I guess maybe even now, or like when you first started playing tennis.
When I first started playing, I couldn't tell you. I probably have to ask my dad, but I probably just loved like hitting the ball around and just having fun. But
Mm-hmm.
as, as I got older and started playing tournaments, I loved just like competing and playing matches. And then like now I love the fact that I don't have to like depend on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would love to play a team sport, obviously, just to have like that that team aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the fact that it's all in my hands
Mm-hmm.
when I'm playing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think tennis is very unique in that aspect. Obviously, there are a lot of other individual sports, but I believe tennis is definitely one of the most challenging. Also because not only is it mentally tasking, but physically, you have to play for hours,
Yeah.
and there's just so many things like emotions, just
Yeah.
believing in yourself in general. I think for me, I think that that part of it is the toughest. I think you treat it more as like I've heard this from one of my coaches before, but treating it more as like a business or like a math problem, something that's a little more like logical rather than being so invested emotionally in it. That's helped a lot because yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been something that's like come through in the past. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize how much of the sport is mental. I mean,
Hmm.
it's like they're like, oh, you just have to hit a ball over the net, but that's it's so much more complicated, and yeah, there's the mental side of the sport is just as big as the physical, for sure.
Definitely. And I think that's one thing that a lot of other sports, obviously all sports are mental to some extent, but tennis especially, I think is one of the most challenging mentally, which a lot of people don't factor like that competitive edge. I know people who will, that play super well, for example, in practices, but then when you put like a tournament or, some sort of pressure on, then it's like a completely different story too.
Yeah, I mean, you have to definitely practice with some kind of pressure, so you're not like,
Hmm.
completely just I don't know, like surprised when a
Hmm.
tournament comes.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like practice and matches are so different. Like you can work on your whole game in practice, but like for it to work and change anything, you have to be able to put it in play during a match.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, all right, some other questions. I think someone asked if you would ever consider playing for India.
Oh, uh, I don't think so. I was born here, and yeah, I mean, like the USTA has helped me so much and given me so much like coaching and help. So yeah, I don't think so.
Let's see what else. Oh, um, what are the things? Okay, so I'm not sure if this is talking academically but I guess you can give your personal input. But what are the things required to get into a U.S. college?
Oh, okay. Like, is that in the aspect from a foreign person?
I I think so. I
Okay.
don't know who asked that
Um,
question.
so I mean, you have to get recruited, um, and if no one's contacting you, then you can like reach out to coaches and stuff. But basically, like, there's a lot of rules. Like, you can't have taken a certain amount of money. So, like, if you're being paid at all, then you can't play. Um, and basically, like, so once they start recruiting you, then you can like take visits and see the campus and everything. And then, I mean, you have to have good grades for. I mean, it depends on the school, but they all have like a baseline for what they expect,
Hmm.
and like they'll check out the, like your test scores and everything. For a foreign person, I think you have to take like a language test if you don't speak the language already. But
Hmm.
I mean, tennis is it's a big part of it, but like school is also a huge part of it.
Hmm.
So you have to be just as invested in the school part. Um, and then like you have to do the application obviously and get get accepted into the school.
Hmm.
Um, it's a very long and stressful process, especially if you're not from America, where like it's like common knowledge and stuff. But yeah, it's tough, but it's worth it.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Do you have any? I mean, I'm not aware of it, but are you aware of? I don't know like how they take test scores and stuff because I know here obviously they take the SAT and the ACT, but
Yeah.
in other countries like or in India, do you know like
No,
how they do it?
um, I mean, they would obviously just take like their like regular school grades and stuff, but how they would like compare that to the classes here, I'm really not sure because
Mm-hmm.
like it's so different there, the curriculum and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think once a student wants to go to college here, they have to take the SAT too,
Mm-hmm.
just so like
Mm-hmm.
they could have something to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they still take that score, but
Mm-hmm.
for their regular grades, yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Do you personally know like any or on your team or just in college tennis, do you know of anyone that's like come from another country and like
Yeah,
or like talk to them or and how's that going for them?
teammates are foreign. One is from Canada and one's Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, they love it. I mean, they're amazing players and students and people. But yeah, like it's definitely a lot more um, work in terms of like the visas and like
Mm-hmm.
the financial stuff and taxes and stuff. But I mean, I think I can speak for them when I'm saying like it's worth it. And they love it there. It's the best time of their lives. So yeah,
That's yeah, I think like you said, obviously it's hard, but it's definitely worth it putting the effort um for yeah. Uh all right, one more question. It's more related to the Pro Tour. So, since the ranking points are frozen until 2021, do you have plans to make use of those points and play pro?
um, like while I'm in college next year, you mean?
I guess because it's frozen, so like if they maybe like play pro tournaments, yeah. So like
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's something like
so this past school year, I was able to play a pro tournament in the fall. I played it in Vegas, and I did very well there.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I'll probably try to play like some pro events like that during the school year, um, whenever I can. But
mm-hmm,
I'm not planning on like turning pro or like
mm-hmm,
like I don't know gap year or something like
mm-hmm,
that. I think I plan to play as much college as I can first, but like still playing pro
mm-hmm,
um, in the like summers or whenever I can.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I mean, have I think the college tennis season still on? I'm not completely aware.
I mean, it's still on because we're a spring sport, so
Yeah.
they can't say anything about the spring yet.
Mm-hmm.
But well, like we're technically a year-long sport because we still have tournaments in the fall. They haven't said anything about that for my school,
Mm-hmm.
but some schools have canceled all fall sports.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends on what they pick. I don't think we'll be able to travel a lot. So I don't think we'll have tournaments in the fall. I mean, hopefully we do, but it doesn't seem very likely. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we should still be able to practice and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for us, like I've been playing the high school tennis team, and our season is in the fall. They're
Okay.
planning they're planning um to have the season. They've scheduled like dates and stuff. They're planning to do all the other sports as well, but of course, I guess that's all subject to change based
Yeah.
on, what happens and with the schools reopening and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, so are you also going back? Like, are you going? I know they have the option to do online schooling for
Yeah.
the colleges, and so, what are your plans regarding that?
I'm planning on going back. We're starting classes on the 25th,
Mm-hmm.
which I mean, like 90% of them are going to be online. And I don't think I even have an in-person class, but I'll still be going back for sports and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, hopefully we still have that. So,
Mhm.
trust.
Yeah, I mean, I know like a few people. I actually know some of the seniors who were on a high school tennis team last year. Now they're going to college as well, and then I guess it's good for you because you've been in that process for a year. Like you've been in college for a year, and now can decide accordingly. But for the people that are just going into college now, it's like some people are staying, taking classes online for the fall, and then there's some people that still not sure whether to go back or if they should travel there.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
it's
tricky.
it's definitely tough for the rising freshmen. My best friend is a rising freshman at UNC, and it's tough. Well, like they're starting classes on August 10th.
Mm-hmm.
She's going soon, but it's tough because they didn't get to like experience normal college, and then it's so many like question marks now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a tough time for everyone.
Yeah, but I mean, I think your advice you gave today, general, about handling college, I hope that will help some people through that. Um, so those are all the questions that we had from the audience. Um, so I guess we'll call it
That's,
that, right?
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. I learned a lot from this. I'm sure everyone watching did as well.
Thank you. Yeah, good luck with your high school stuff, and hopefully you get to go the college you want to. So, yeah.
Thank you.